Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 8 says, "And the Lord, he is not that do go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee." He says, "Fear not, neither be dismayed." So no matter what comes your way, know that God is able. Perhaps you might be saying it's impossible, but Jesus says in Matthew 19 and verse 26 that with all things, but with God, all things are possible. You may be saying, JB, I'm tired. And the Lord saying, I want to give you rest. In Matthew chapter 11 and 28, he says, "Come unto me, all that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Well, you may say, nobody loves me, JB. Well, God says, I love you, because in John 3:16, he says, "For God so loved the world." You may be thinking, nobody really cares about me, and God says, I care for you. In 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7, he says, "Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you." You say, "May I can't go on any longer." He says, "My grace is sufficient." In 2 Corinthians chapter 9 and chapter 12 and verse 9, he says that my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. You may say, I can't figure things out, JB. I don't know what to do. I shall direct your path, God says. In Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 6, he says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall" what? "Direct your path." You may say, I can't do it. I just want to give up. God says in Philippians 4 and verse 13 that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. You may say, I am unable. God says, but I am able. In Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 20, he says, "Now, unto him that is able to do exceedingly, abundantly above all." Y'all don't even, oof. That's a shout right there. "Above all that you can not only ask, but that you can think of." Just imagine what you're asking God, and then imagine what you're thinking about. God said, I got something even bigger than that for you. You may say that I'm not worth it. God says it will be worth it, because in Romans chapter 8 and verse 28, he says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose." You may say, I can't forgive myself. God says, I forgive you. In 1 John chapter 1 verse 9, he says, "If we confess our sins, he is faithful just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all righteousness." You might say, well, Butler, I can't afford to. God says, I will supply all your needs. In Philippians chapter 4 and verse 19, he says, "But my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ." So again, I ask you, where is God in the time of crisis? And the answer is that he's right with you. Exodus chapter 14 and verse number 13. One last time, take this with you. "And Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." The easy read version, he says, don't be afraid. Don't run away. Stand where you are and watch the Lord save you today.